Hello. We are now in the beginning of Chanukah. The major mitzvah of Chanukah, as we know, is lighting the Chanukah candles in a place where others can see. For Pirsumei Nissa, that the miracle should be known to as many. And this concept is so central in Chanukah that the Rambam says that one should sell his clothes so that we can buy candles to light them on Chanukah. Why is that so important? I think if we look at the story of Chanukah, we can see how the Chashmonaim took responsibility for all of Am Yisrael. They didn't fight only for themselves, and they weren't worried only for the well-being on the physical level of their neighbors, like we see at other times when we have to worry for our friends and for our neighbors' well-being on the physical level, to make sure that everyone has food, like on Purim, or on all the Chagim, where V'samachta b'chagecha includes making sure that everyone has food that they can celebrate. And Chanukah, what is so central is the concept of the Chashmonaim, that we take part and we take responsibility for the spiritual well-being of our neighbor, of Am Yisrael. They fought for a spiritual freedom. And they wanted to teach all of Am Yisrael to come back to Torah, mitzvot, to emunah. When we light the candles, we are telling the world, we're telling not only the world, we're basically, first of all, telling Am Yisrael, the people walking on the streets, we're telling them the story of belief, the story of our relationship with Ribono Shel Olam, the story of the power of Am Yisrael, and the story of the power of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we're telling everyone to join in on this. The Rambam says that we have Pirsumei Nissa so that people will afterwards be full of gratitude. To who? To HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We are now joining Avraham, who stands up, v'koreh b'shem Hashem. He's calling out the name of God to bring people closer. When we light the candle of Chanukah, the Pirsumei Nissa, the idea is we want to make sure that as many people in Am Yisrael, and maybe Rav Soloveitchik says also, not only in Am Yisrael, will internalize the understanding of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of his connection to the world, of Hashgacha, the ability, that the possibility of miracle, the deep connection between Am Yisrael and the Ribono Shel Olam. In Pirsumei Nissa, we're not only worried about what happens in our close circles. We look out the window, we put the candle out the door, and we want to see that also others, people that don't realize as much that something happened, that there is a leader to the world, that the story of Am Yisrael is unique, and that the connection between this leader, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the unique history of Am Yisrael, that this connection, that there's a bonding between these two issues. And by lighting the candle, we are telling ourselves that we care for others' spirituality. And I think that in a world where a major idea that we live with is to be tolerant, to accept where the other one is, to have deep understanding for the other, and not, or if not understanding, to have tolerance, not to bother someone else. I won't bother you, you won't bother me. Comes Chanukah and says, maybe I'm not going to bother you, but I'm going to try to do my best that you will come close to what I believe, that you will be able to internalize these concepts, these so essential concepts of the world, of religion, and of spirituality. That we have a happy Chanukah.